got some chat house stories.
Story
time.
Yeah. Sometimes, like, I haven't been as active as I was about a month ago, because it's like a new toy. Once you get used to it, you kind of like,
Right.
you don't use it as much.
Right.
But I just randomly drop into rooms every now and then.
You be dropping into some wild ass rooms too. I do too.
You be
I
seeing
do too.
rooms.
Yeah, because so I'm gonna interject real quick because I have to check who's online.
Yeah.
To determine which rooms I can jump in. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Some wild shit. I just be there want to hear what people say from just different backgrounds.
Me too.
So I went into one. I can't remember the name of the room, but it was like a dating room, and they were talking. Like it was black. It was focused on black people.
Okay. And
they're talking about dating and romance and things of this nature. But I just ran. I was like, okay, let me see what they're talking about. So I just got into the room. And this one lady, like, I didn't really have any prompt into what she was talking about or why she was talking about it. But she was talking about how she was dating this man. Everything was going really well. Like, she was saying that her son liked him. He takes care and looks out for her. He's very loving. And, he really deeply cares about her. She was like, I really love his family. I've never been around a family that's loving and supporting in that way. It's like the family I come from, we don't operate like that. We don't have that. So I kind of really enjoy that about his family. They're very supportive of me, and they show my son love. And she was like, the man, he was in the military. So, he has a background in that. And she was like, I think he had been traumatized going into war or something. So I'm not sure what war, because she was fairly young. She was like 25 and he was older or something. I don't know what kind of action he saw, but I guess he saw some action. She was kind of concerned about his mental health, because she was saying she was afraid that he might snap on her or do something along the lines, which seemed kind of random, because like everything else up until that point was very positive and she was speaking very highly of him.
Right.
Then got into some shit. She was like, yeah. Then it got into some sexual shit. And she was like, yeah, I know, bro. And then she was like, he admitted to me to have slept with other men. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, okay, that's random. In my mind, I'm still like, what does this have to do with dating? And then like it started to turn into like a therapy session, because then people were like, well, are you like holding that against him or whatever? She was like, it's a little weird. He claims to have liked the act more than the person he was doing it with. I'm like, huh?
That's.
I was like, okay. I was like, whatever. And then she was like, then he wanted me to do some stuff to him in the bedroom. And she was like, yeah. She was like, it just feels so weird. And she started crying at this point, breaking down. Oh, she was like, I couldn't do it. Like, it just didn't feel right. It made me so uncomfortable. Da-da-da-da. And the guys were like, well, the guys were confused as I were. They're like, are you saying like that you don't want to be with him because he's into these things sexually and you're not, but everything else is going well and you're happy? She's right. Like, yeah. And she's like, and also I'm 8 weeks pregnant by him. But she's like, but I can't, these things are so weird sexually, and but like I never really got the part of why she said he might snap, though. That didn't really seem necessary. But I guess because she thought well, obviously this dude couldn't trust her, because she's on the internet telling people this. She was like, because I know this about him, I feel like he might snap on me and hurt me and my son, so I need to get out of this relationship. But then she's on the internet telling strangers. Then she also mentioned that she was talking to his family about some issues he had, or about like the thing about being with men, and they didn't know that, and she just outed him to his whole family. Oh, no. So I think that's another reason why she was claiming to be scared of him. Oh, no. And then, but wait, there's more. Then she was like, and also, I don't know if I want to have a kid around him or really want my son to be around him, even though my son really likes him and, he likes my son, because apparently he'd been married 2 other times and had a couple of kids. And he had an issue with one of his ex-wives where she wouldn't let him see the son. And she was like, you know, every time I would talk to him about that, he would never really want to talk about it or speak about it. But she was like, one night I was kind of eavesdropping on him on the conversation he was having. And I guess in the conversation he was defending himself because I guess there's an alleged rumor that his ex-wife's little brother had engaged into some sexual acts with him. And he was underage at the time. And he was like, and she was saying, I think that's why the wife won't let him see his son. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, so I gotta get out of this fucking story. It's too much. But this all happened in like 15 minutes.
People, I'm assuming, were like interjecting with questions and shit.
Yeah, there was a couple brothers in there trying to help her gain help and clarity. But from what I gained from it, like, she just didn't do a good job vetting the guy. And I think because she felt the strong emotion of like the love and the care from the family and him, she didn't really think that it was important to still do her due diligence in regards to dealing with that brother.
That's a lot.
That's what I feel like. I was like, I ain't been back on set.
God damn, that's a lot. That's a very heavy story.
Yeah, it was wild, man.
Yeah. I've also seen stories of people like falling in love and getting married over Clubhouse. Have you seen this?
She's been around for like 6 months.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
No, I have not seen that.
Apparently people like end up randomly being in rooms together, and then I didn't even know having a private room was a thing. Like, did you know that was a thing? That's the Clubhouse version of a DM. You could like open up a room with someone privately.
No, I did not know that.
Had no idea about that. I don't even know if it's a new feature, but that is a feature on there. But yeah, man, Clubhouse is fucking wild. That shit is wild. There's all kinds of wild shit in there. The moan rooms still exist.
Y'all been in any of those?
No, I did not.
You ain't trying to win that $300?
No. Not like that. Not like that. There's these like there's always like the advice rooms, the relationship rooms, the shoot your shot rooms, all of that good shit. My favorite rooms is the rooms where the C-list celebrities be in. And the C-list celebrities, and there's no limit on who they have on stage. So like they're just chopping it up with everybody. Because if you've ever noticed, the like A and B list celebrities that be on Clubhouse be giving it up. Like they're a little bit more vulnerable than they typically are on any other social media. But these C-list niggas that hang out with them, they just don't get the camera time. They really be giving it up, bro. They be telling, they be telling it all. Like they be telling it all. Yeah, they be telling it all, man. That should be super duper interesting. Yeah, some of the rooms are very weird to me too. Like, there be these like, what is it? ADOS versus
Like
Black American, but like not discussion rooms to like talk about. It's literally like verses, like it's a battle. Like, and then you'll go into the room and it's literally just people yelling at each other.
Yeah, those conversations get heated.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, all right.
People get so offended on both sides in those types of that particular subject.
I thought we was gonna do like Jollof versus cornbread, but no. All right,
Jollof. That sound like a lawyer.
Yeah,
Jollof.
Esquire. But
Jollof law.
Yeah, that shit is interesting.
I did another random room I came across was a prank room where
prank calls.
Yeah,
I've seen
that
those.
one happens like every day.
I haven't jumped in one of those yet.
It was the game. He was like one of the main people. He prank called. Who the fuck's son was this? It's a famous artist. It was his son. I want to say like one of the niggas from the Temptations.
Oh shit!
Like all of the niggas, or I can't remember. It was an old school black singer. He called. Somebody gave him the number to call, dude. And
Teddy Riley Jr.
Some shit like that, bro. It was like Sam Cooke Jr. It was like the artist's name and Jr. But like somebody gave him a number and Gabe was like, yeah, bro, I just randomly called this number because God compelled me to. And like these niggas ended up like this nigga was giving the game like life advice. This game was acting like a nigga that was like in distress and like just had nothing going on with his life and was thinking about like ending it all. So this nigga talked him off the ledge and they had a conversation and he was like, and Gabe was like, bro, can I just call you anytime? He was like, you could call me back, but don't be abusing that shit. Because he's like, really, I'm blah, 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 blah.
Right.
But like that one was pretty random.
That's interesting.
And just sometimes I just hop into other random rooms just to see what niggas talking about.
Do you remember that?